From Cichy Stadium in Fargo, North Dakota. Good evening, everybody. I'm Jed Thomas alongside Lucas Johnson as we get set for North Dakota high school football action as the Shanley Deacons prepare to take on the Davies Eagles. Good evening, folks. We are so glad to be back on the air. This break has been far too long. We're just so excited to be getting back underway, and no better way to start it off than a football game.
Absolutely, Jed. You know, when it gets to be this time of year, people get excited for football, you know, and what a better night. I mean, I don't think it gets any better than this. Nice sunny day, a little cloud cover, a little breeze. You know, these guys, I believe it's going to be a good night, and they're going to be ready to come out and play.
Truly a beautiful day for football. Everybody's excited. The players, us, the fans. We hope you are too. Why Liars in the crowd? I mean, everybody's just pumped. A couple things quick here. It is an exhibition, so there are some rule changes. There will be 2 games going on, and they'll each be played from the 40-yard line to the end zone. Each team will get 10 plays on offense and 10 plays on defense to attempt to score, and once you do score, you get reset to the 40-yard line. So it's 10 plays on offense, 10 on defense, totals out to about 80 plays in the whole game. Again, it's JV and varsity, and the only other rule change is that you can't hit the quarterback. So it's a fun way to do it. We've never broadcast something like this before. We hope you enjoy it, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this commercial break with high school football.
This broadcast is presented by American Family Insurance, Ken Craft Agency, Bell Bank, Butler Machinery Company, the Fargo Jet Center, First International Bank and Trust, Form Communications, Luther Family Buick GMC, Master Construction, Moore Engineering, Netrix IT, Northern Improvement Company, Off the Wall Advertising, Robert Gibb and Sons, Sanford Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, Shields All Sports in Fargo, and TCI Insurance.
Welcome back to high school football on Shanley TV. If you are just joining us, we'd like to remind you that today is an exhibition played under some different rules. They are as follows. Today's game will be 2 games split up between JV and varsity. They will both be starting at the 40-yard line and attempting to score just on a 40-yard field. If you do score a touchdown, you get sent back to the 40 to try again. You get 10 plays on offense each quarter and 10 plays on defense. New format should be exciting. Again, the only other rule change is that you can't hit the quarterback. So today should be a really fun way to just kind of take a look at which teams have really put in the work and who has really tried their best to improve over the offseason. Should be a fun preview for the season, right, Lucas?
Absolutely. You know, Jed, this is a great way to start out the season. It really gets these guys pumped up for regular season and just kind of get their feet under them. You know, it helps these guys to be able to run some plays, you know, without all the pressure of winning and losing, just kind of getting their feet underneath them and just having a good spirited match out there. It
is a real good way to ease some guys in who haven't gotten to start. And with that in mind, Lucas, why don't you take us through who on the Shanley side they will be missing this year, who's graduated from last season?
You know, absolutely. When you look at these key losses here, you know, they're all on the line, you know, except for Devin Kleinman. But when you look at Lane Hallock, Bruce Miserow, Kevin Wolf, you know, these are big guys on the line. That being said, there's a lot of new guys on the line, and, you know, Coach Oxendahl is really going to have to put in some work to get these guys feeling comfortable and start playing at an elite level.
Well, the thing about playing for Coach Oxendahl, especially when you're on the line, is his system he prides himself on is so good. I mean, these guys live in the weight room. It really helps them get prepared for playing varsity football against some big, fast guys.
Absolutely.
Lucas, why don't you take us through the Davies side of things and who they'll be missing after this year?
Sure. You know, looking at quarterback, Tanner Bonofsky was just anytime you lose a quarterback on any team, it really helps, or really, you know, destroys some of that chemistry in the team. When you look at him as a D-back standpoint defensively, he's first team All-State, so that hurts. But quarterback, his passing might not be the strongest, but man, 694 rush yards as a QB. That's what I think Davies is going to try and stick with. Maybe not throwing so much, but running. They got a lot of power in the backfield. You know, even though they're losing Ty Jokum, who's had 1,000 rush yards. You know, that's strong. But they've got some key returners coming back, guys that can really put up some numbers.
Definitely, you know, some big losses there, but I think both these teams are looking to have good years this year. Davies maybe a bounce back from that 5-5 record, and Shanley hoping to get a win in a state title game. It's been 2 years in a row of second place,
Absolutely.
and I know these guys are hungry. So let's take a look at what's going down on the field right now. Looks like we've got the camera on Varsity, and we're going to get our first look at both these Varsity squads this year. Coming out in I formation is the Deacons. It'll be Matt Bird at quarterback. He was playing running back last year after moving from QB. Buckles in motion. Going from left to right. Bird takes a snap, hands off. It's Erie in the backfield, busting out to his left. Tom Erie, little stutter stepping down at the 15-yard line. How's that to start your season? Tom Erie, the speedster, you may remember him. He had a great year last year starting at corner. Isn't that right, Lucas?
You know, absolutely. I'd keep your eyes open for a lot of those plays there. You know, Matt Bird, not only can he really run the ball as we saw last year, but he's really got an arm. I'd look for some throw plays coming in here.
Definitely. Getting into our next play on Varsity. It's Bird in shotgun. Erie in motion. It's a handoff to Erie on the far right side. Looking for space. He turns upfield, and Erie will be brought down for a gain of about 2 or 3 yards. Interesting formation there for Shanley. Usually more of a smash mouth offense. They went for a little bit of trickery there.
Sure, you know, and that gives them the quarterback time. So out of that, they can do kind of a read option player, like a pitch out of that. You know, just great versatility through that Shanley offense.
Trying to establish a little mystery to their offensive approach. It's
Right,
it's a
yeah,
good strategy.
absolutely.
They play ultimate frisbee all the time. Super fun, and it's not so.
All right. Third play of varsity action. It's a bit of a bungled snap. Bird running it himself up the far right side. They are struggling to bring Matt Bird down, but they do get him. He is close, real close to the end zone. Meanwhile, on JV, some nice things going down. That is on the carry, Austin Manuel, the sophomore running back, making things happen. Back to varsity action now. It's Matt Bird in shotgun. He's got Colby Johnson to his left. It's Buckles and Erie out. Erie in motion, takes the handoff, and he is going nowhere. The Eagles sniff that one out right away. Deacons try same play there, doesn't work out. Full house formation for the JV. It's Busick under center. They mess that handoff up, but Manuel able to recover. He's brought down about 5 yards away from the goal line. You saw there Busick had trouble with the exchange between him and his running back, but they were able to recover and get a nice gain. Full house formation for the varsity Deeks. Bird, handoff up the middle. Tom Erie's going nowhere. And look who it was on that stop. Jackie Ross, the big man for Davies.
You know, you're going to have to see a lot of that, you know, with this young line. They're really going to have to tighten up some of their holes there and really start pushing forward, get the low man off the line. It's going to be real important for these 5 yards and in plays where you can't necessarily throw the ball.
JV, their play action pass from Busick is incomplete to his receiver. To varsity now. Waiting to get set. It looks like doubles formation for the Deacons. It's Johnson and Bird in the backfield. Bird taking a look around the field. Snaps away, looking to his left, fires, it's Cava, and Jake Cava makes the reception. Nice hands there.
Very nice. You know, I'd like to see that a lot more, too, with Matt Bird's arm, being able to spread the field out. They're going to have to start being a little quicker plays, you know, with the younger line, but I think that could work wonders for them.
Well, Lucas, I caught up with Matt before the game today, and he said of all the things he worked on this offseason, it was definitely his throwing that he felt he had improved upon. And it was something that he knew he was going to have to work on, having lost Brevin Lancaster from last year.
You know, and he's a great tool for these Deacons. You know, not only can he run the ball, but now with his throwing arm, I mean, it's going to take a lot to stop that guy.
It really will. Matt Bird, of course, an all-state selection last year, really doing good things for the Deacons. Meanwhile, the junior varsity team was able to punch it in. We get back to varsity action, though, now. Deacons looking for their second touchdown on varsity. Bird drops back to pass. He's got time now. He's going to scramble, and he's brought down. On the JV side of things, Busick, misdirection handoff to Manuel. Manuel's having a nice game. Some good gains of 3 and 4 yards, working well for him. Bird there on that play did take contact, but he was a runner in that situation, so I believe that's why no whistle was blown. Again, we believe quarterbacks can't take hits in this scrimmage. You'll have to bear with us, though, as we're learning some of these rules ourselves. Shaky exchange there from Bird to Johnson. Colby Johnson able, though, to drive forward. And, you know, Lucas, we're seeing a lot of troubles on the handoffs here. Probably, you know, got to be some jitters in your first live action of the season.
You know, I think that's right. Having the first game, just having those pregame jitters, you know. As the game moves along, as scrimmage moves along, I'd look for those to disappear and really start to see this discipline come out.
False start on the JV side, I believe. Looks like Peterson flinched. Handoff now straight up the middle. Austin Manuel really going to work today. Over to varsity. It's the power I formation. Bird fakes the handoff. Play action pass. Looks downfield to Buckles. It's caught. Buckles able to turn around, and he's down around the 10. Nice play there. Matt Bird to Haley Buckles. That's a connection I think you're going to see a lot this year.
Absolutely. You know, Haley Buckles, he is an athlete. He's big, he's tall, he's fast. He's able to get up and get those. I think that's a great tool for Matt Bird to have in his back pocket.
Again with the misdirection, but it's a play-action pass. Busick downfield to Peterson, who can't hang on. Sean Peterson was able to get separation from the D-back, but just couldn't make the grab. He's going to want that one back. Full house formation for the varsity Deacons. Bird kicks his leg out, and then Erie goes into motion. Bird now going to hand it off up the middle to Josh Johnson. Johnson refusing to go down and powering forward to the 1-yard line. Josh Johnson, you know, there's a kid who has put in a lot of work this offseason, breaking the 40-yard dash record at the school, but also, I think, adding even more muscle, which is a crazy feat to accomplish.
Absolutely. You know, I think Josh Johnson is going to be a great tool for this team. He's kind of low, under the radar kind of guy, but like you said, you know, with all the work he's put in, I believe he's going to be a great asset.
Definitely. You saw Cole Fredericks there, the speedster for the JV Deacons, able to get some separation, made some real nice moves getting through traffic. On the varsity side of things, it is Eagles' ball now on offense. The Deacons will go to defense. Getting our first look at the Eagle offense here, and we'll see who's in at quarterback. That was a question mark coming into the game. But it looks like they're going with Ethan Matheson. The junior was looked upon to be the heir to Boyanovsky at QB, but also look for Jesse Forknell, who could have a big role too. Handoff now to Bear. Bear, though, not going anywhere. Good stop there by the Deacons. It was Yagi in there on the tackle, along with Joe Cava.
You know, I think that'll be important there, too, to really contain those outside, just being able to turn them back in.
All right now, Varsity Eagles coming out for their second play on offense. Eagles use a single wing formation, incorporating a lot of the wing back. You'll see that today. And now that throw is a nice job there from Matheson, threading the needle, but that ball was almost jumped by Erie. Tom Erie, of course, Erie Island as they call him, all about the interceptions and the pass breakups. He was an all-state selection as a sophomore at corner. He is just a huge tool for the Deacon defense. third play here for the Eagles. It's Matheson under center. He's going to hand the ball off. Now bringing it up center. Not going too far, though, on the carry. That was Singyamuva. All right, in JV action, meanwhile, the Eagles have moved deep into Deacon territory, threatening to score just about a yard away. Eagles come out now having some struggles on offense. They haven't gotten too far in the run game, but they're going to try to throw here. A good throw from Matheson, complete, almost to the first down. It was a nice catch made there by Cichy, but he was just maybe unable to reach across to the first down marker. It looks like that's what they'll say.
You know, that throw was a little behind him, too, so he did have to come back to that ball. I'd really look for some more pass plays. It looks like that's kind of a strong suit right now.
And the Matheson to Cichy hookup, it looks to be a pretty good one. They seem to be really on the same page. Under center, Matheson fakes the handoff. He's going to run it himself. Matheson up the far right side, and then he's taken out at the legs by Tom Erie. Lucas, you mentioned that they might go with that QB running like they had with Boyanovsky, and it looks like Matheson does have the legs to do some of that.
You know, I think it's usually a really good tool for those varsity teams to have that.
Meanwhile, Forknell with a great ball caught for a touchdown by Moore. That was a fantastic play there. The JV Eagles are looking really strong here. The Deacons can't seem to find many answers on defense. They're going to have to, though. Varsity Eagles move back to the 40 again. Meanwhile, on JV, so do the JV Eagles. Forknell hands it off up the middle. Looking for space on the outside. Dragged down, though, by Wasick on the carry. That was Youngren. Varsity Eagles getting their formation squared away. Man in motion. Faking the handoff, looking to pass as Matheson. Bear catches it, makes one man miss, but then falls to the ground. Able to tie him up there was Kelsch.
That was really close to being a really good play. You know, they had everyone biting towards that fake. But, again, really good containment by the Deacons.
Bear did a good job making the first man miss, but just got tripped up. Forknell in the air again, looking for his man. Unfortunately, it won't go this time. Brody Moore has been his go-to. In varsity action, that wingback formation once again. A man in motion. Matheson hands it up the middle. Going nowhere, though. Jake Cava immediately meets the ball carrier, Cole Birch. Cole Birch is one name to watch. He has really been good for the Eagles in past years, and I think this year really is looking to step up into a larger role. In JV action, it's a handoff up the left side, nowhere to run, trying to get some space, and then hauled to the ground. On that carry was Brett Vetter. That was Rorick on the tackle. In varsity action, Matheson drops back to pass, looking to the far right side, and then hit hard. Erie able to contain him, but not before Paustian could make the catch. In JV, Eagles. Not many plays left. Handoff up the middle, though. Lots of space. Powering forward. Argulaeus, who I believe would be the brother of J.D. Argulaeus. You'd assume a relation there. Two Argulaeuses on the Davies team. Of course, J.D. graduated last year. Handoff up the middle. Not getting too far, though. Eagles' run game not met with much success. Forknell hands it off up the middle, running with it, big hit. Brett Vetter just absorbed a huge hit from a couple of Deacons. Over on the varsity side of things, Eagles just cannot seem to get through this Deacon defense. Deacons have to be happy with what their D-line is doing here. Obviously, that was a question mark coming into the season, but so far they've looked pretty strong.
Absolutely, and I think the Deacons really pride themselves on their defense.
Bear able to make the reception, bringing it up the left side. That was a nice gain for the Eagles, one of their best in this whole game so far. Bird came up with the tackle, but Bear, really nice grab. Unfortunately, I believe that was 10 plays for the Eagles.
And I think coming up for this next possession for the Eagles, I'd look to see more passes or at least maybe more attempts at running because it looks like their passing game is a little stronger than their run game right now.
That does seem to be the case. So Varsity going to reset. That was their first. So that was 10 for Shanley, 10 for Davies. So that's 20 plays out of 80 done. In JV action, the Eagles are threatening once again. Very close to another touchdown. Forknell under center. Man in motion is Vetter. Forknell pitching it out left. Pitch goes right by the running back. Ball's on the ground. Oh, opportunistic grab. Can't come up with it. Forknell looks like he fell on top of that one, but it looked like Manuel had it for a split second. That's a tough one for the Deacons, as that was almost a good turnover there. In today's game, it is 10 offensive, 10 defensive, so they're not really keeping score here, as it's not much of a... That's not really the goal of today, so if you're seeing touchdowns scored, and that's why we don't have a scoreboard here for you today. Trips left, flanker right. Bird drops back to pass. Steps up in the pocket. He's going to run with it himself. Bird bringing it up the left side. Powering through. It takes a couple Eagles to bring him down. Matt Bird doing what he loves to do and running right through defenders.
And he's such a strong guy, too. You know, you notice it couldn't take just one of them. It had to be 2 or 3 to take him down. That's what makes him such a great player.
And you know, Bird, though, he is a really good quarterback and runner, but one thing he does have to work on is being able to sit in the pocket and make the throw, because you can't run every play. I think that's something that he had troubles with sophomore year, but, you know, he's a lot older and he's got a lot more experience, and I think Matt really knows when to run and when to throw. Handoff up the middle to Colby Johnson, not going too far. JV action. The Deacons getting set for another offensive possession. It's a full house formation. It's Wasick in at quarterback, the junior. Wasick takes the snap, hands it off. Trying to get through traffic. That was Fredericks on the carry. Not going too far, though. Finally falls down. Good job by Fredericks, though, staying upright. Meanwhile, in varsity action, Bird's ball finds its way to Tom Erie. That one zipped through traffic. Erie, though, great job hanging on. Erie is a really good weapon for the Deacons on offense with his combination of height and speed as a receiver. Just so good at going up and grabbing balls. Full house formation for the Deeks, closing in on the end zone. Bird under center, taking the snap, handing it off to Johnson. It's a fake, no. Bird powering forward and brought down at around the 3-yard line. In JV action, it's Wasick, running it up the left side. Stiff arm, still going. Miles Wasick into the end zone. My goodness. Miles Wasick flashing some great speed there. That's a big threat of Wasick's game. He is a great pure passer we've seen before, but also as a runner, his speed and strength, it just makes him so dangerous. On the varsity side of things, it's full house formation again for the Deeks. Handoff, Colby Johnson up the middle, no! Colby Johnson is not a man who is ever really denied from the end zone, but right there, the Eagles just get right on him. Johnson, of course, the hard-nosed fullback, really good at powering through defenders, but just too many Eagles, and they were too strong for him.
that'll be the key for defenses, too, going up against Colby Johnson. He's a really big, strong guy. You can't just stick one guy on him. It's got to be a lot of guys to take him down.
Deacons going to try again. They have really stalled out here. Man in motion is Erie. It's a fake. Bird taking it up the center. Can he get there?
Just short, I think.
No signal yet, and it is just short. Good eye, Lucas. Man, Deacons really having trouble there in the red zone. And it looks like they're going to be sent back. I think they ran out of downs. Varsity Deacons make the walk back. JV coming out of the huddle. Full house formation. Wasik under center. Wasik takes a snap. Fake handoff. It's to Manuel. Manuel, untouched, making his way through and brought down around the 5. Manuel barely had anyone on him. In varsity action, Bird rolling out to his left. He is going to run with it. Powering forward, and he stays on his feet out of bounds at around the 30. Matt Bird, a little indecision there, trying to decide whether to stay or throw, and that's something he'll probably have to deal with without all 5 of their starters last year.
Absolutely.
He's going to face a lot of pressure.
It was a good, smart play, though, on that rollout. He really could have tried to force that throw, but knowing that maybe that's not his strongest part, he just takes the yard and run with it, gaining about 5 yards there. So real smart play.
Yeah, good job not risking the turnover, and I think that's another aspect of his game you'll see that's really matured from sophomore year to this year. I formation for the JV Deeks. Man split out left. Wasik fakes the handoff. Play action pass. Throwing. Caught by Peterson, but he can't turn the corner in time. Peterson caught down at about the 3-yard line. Varsity action. Matt Bird drops back to pass. Pressure coming, and he's just going to have to take the sack there, of course. No hitting the QB. Over to JV action. Deacons are very close to the end zone. They're going to come out in I once again. Rorick is split out to the right. Wasik scanning the field, takes the handoff, gives it to Fredericks, and Fredericks in for the touchdown. Full house formation for the Varsity Deeks. Bird taking the handoff, gives it to Johnson. Josh Johnson making his way downfield. My goodness, Josh Johnson would not be denied from the end zone on that play.
And that's what I'm talking about right there. He's just so under the radar. And look at that. He's got speed. He's got power. He ran right through some guys there. Very nice. I'd like to see more of that from Josh Johnson.
Well, when I talked to Matt Bird before the game, another big thing he mentioned was the emergence of Josh Johnson this year. Talking about, Matt Bird obviously going to see some time at quarterback this year, and with that, that's really going to free up the running back position. The Johnson brothers, as he calls them, no relation. But Josh and Colby both, I think, could really have good years with Matt playing some QB.
Absolutely, and they're not weak in the running back spot, that's for sure.
Play action pass that had everyone fooled. Wasik just over the fingertips of his receiver. That one really close there. Great job by Wasik selling the fake. Meanwhile, Kuhneman goes down hard in varsity action. Caden Kuhneman having some trouble there. Pressure, again, is one of those issues with that line. And that'll do it for the offensive snaps for the Deacons. And they will go to defense now. In JV action, the man in motion was Manuel. Wasik trying to find his way up the center. Gets thrown down. Gain of about 2. In varsity, the Eagles are getting another crack at offense. It did not go too well last outing. Having felt out this Deacon defense, though, maybe they can make some adjustments. It's Forknell who hands it off. Not going anywhere, though. That was to the fullback, Jackie Ross. Ross is a really vital part of that team. Coming in at 6 foot 235. He is a big, big guy. Very tough to bring down. Wasik trying to get past the defender. He's wrapped up and brought down. Eagle defense rebounding on the JV side of things. Varsity Eagles coming back out now, looking for a little more success. Faking the handoff to Ross, looking downfield. Forknell right through the hands of his man. Forknell put a little too much on that one for McMonigal. That one just too much heat. Eagle offense comes out on JV now. But we stay with Varsity here as this Varsity Eagle offense is still trying to get traction. Man in motion, it's the handoff. It's York bringing it up the right side. York getting a nice little chunky yardage, but not enough for the first down. Alex York, the senior running back, is definitely a player to watch.
Nice job on the DN there for the Deacons, turning him back inside so he didn't get all that space out to the outside.
Both JV and Varsity still in the huddles here. Over to JV. This JV Eagle offense had their successes last time, quite a bit of them actually. Shanley hoping to have a better outing here. Snap is high. It's the QB running with it. With space, getting past defenders. Great moves and still going. Wow, Chandler Rudolph. Great work there. On Varsity, not much headway made here for the Eagles. It is 4th down now. Desperately trying to get a first down here.
I'd keep the eyes open for a pass play. It's worked really well in the past for them.
I formation for the Eagles. Forknell takes the snap, hands it off to York. York trying to make it through, but he is brought down. Davies is finding some success getting through the first wall of Deacon defenders, but those linebackers are just swarming right now, and they're led by last year's leading tackler, Jake Cava.
Absolutely. He's a big guy, too. You know, he's a hard hitter right up that middle. He's a tough guy to get past.
Well, it's first down as they're just staying put where they are. New formation for the Eagles here. It's doubles.
Very spread out.
Well, the passing game has worked. It looks like they'll try it again. Forknell's ball right off the fingertips of Hischer.
You know, he's throwing some really good balls. Maybe a little high for his receivers, but, you know, as a receiver, you got to bring those in.
Definitely, as you said, maybe a little too much on him, a little too high, but it's the receiver's job to bring those in, and, you know, you can tell they really want those back. Tough break.
Absolutely.
Deacon JV defense has looked strong so far, but staying with Varsity, Eagles still trying to get traction. Forknell takes the handoff, takes a snap, fakes the handoff, and York is immediately brought down. In JV action, my goodness, look at this. It's Rudolph who gets into the end zone. Chandler Rudolph is just making the defenders look silly out there. He is dodging left and right, spin moves, jukes. I mean, it's like Madden out there for him. All right, Varsity Eagles taking another crack at it. Fortnell takes the snap, fakes the handoff, looks downfield, too far out in front of his receiver. In JV action. Under center, it's Rudolph. He hands that one off. Making some great headway there, the running back. Hejelseth really looking strong there. Eagles facing fourth down once again. Man in motion. Handoff. Trying to bring it up the left side. Space! Bringing it forward and to the first down marker. Finally some success there. It's Johnson Jones, the running back for Davies. Over to JV action. Back to pass. Looking downfield. Oh, what a grab! A great throw from Birch, I believe. And then the grab. Man. Well, the Eagles really looking strong on the JV offense. Rorick unable to time the jump correctly. Definitely wants that one back. Varsity hoping to have some success like the JV has. They were able to pick up a first down there with the run from Johnson Jones. Forknell dropping back to pass. Pressure coming, looks downfield, fires! Claybo can't get it, but a flag is thrown. Looks to be on Erie, who got too much contact there, and you could see the jersey pull. On JV, the handoff up the middle with space. This Deacon defense struggling towards the end zone. Touchdown. Another great play for the Eagle JV squad. They have been in command of this game. Meanwhile, Varsity, that 10-play stretch for the Eagle offense comes to a close with not a lot of gains. Both sides taking some breaks here. Eagle offense on JV going back into the huddle. Varsity resetting. And now, would be a good time. Why don't we take a look, Lucas, at some of the players to watch this year for the Eagles?
When you take a look at it, Andy Bear, Alex York, Jackie Ross, even Cole Birch, they've got a stout running back. All these running backs. So they're not really weak in that sense. We've seen with some runs, they've even got Johnson Jones who's able to put up some numbers. So I think their running game is really going to be strong, and we've seen their pass game really come into play as well.
Definitely. Running backs, they lost all three of their main runners from last year, but they bring in so many good guys. A great fullback, too, in Jackie Ross to clear the path. The Eagles' run game looks good. Obviously, they've had some struggles against Shanley. We'll see if they can feel him out a little later on, though. Also, Cy Sear mentioned on that list. He had a great year kicking for the Eagles last year and returns as a senior now. Eagle offense still in possession on the JV side of things. They have really just been so impressive. A little delay in the action there. Some confusion perhaps at the line. Birch looking around, not really sure. Looks like the Eagles are confused as to what their plan is here.
That's the beauty of a scrimmage, Jed. You can work out all these bugs that you've got here, and as you can see, the receiver was on the wrong side there.
Well, it's a great point, Lucas. This scrimmage, it's something that these two teams have done for a while, and it's just a great way to get your guys prepared for some live action plays, because there is such a difference between what you do in practice and what happens, in a live game.
Absolutely. You get that adrenaline flowing, maybe you jump a little higher or push a little harder, but, this is definitely something that I know these guys really enjoy doing.
Good way to iron out the kinks.
Sure thing.
With some lull in the action here, looks like the varsity is just about ready to get back underway. It'll be interesting to see who comes out there for varsity personnel. We should definitely see Caden Kuhneman getting some reps at QB. Wouldn't be shocked if Matt Bird's day was maybe done. Might see some of those seniors, more experienced guys, maybe coming out, but we'll see what Coach Oxendall's plan is. Man in motion, it's a sweep. Oh, and the pitch to the other receiver. Trickery by the Eagles, bringing it up the far side, and then a big collision. It's Bars who makes the tackle, but a trick play and a good run from Bradley Hubert. Eagle offense just hard to stop here for Shanley.
This JV defense is pretty young, too, so I wouldn't be surprised that they mature even after this game, getting their foot in the door here.
And, another big thing for this JV defense is their D-line is just totally brand new, because all of them really had to graduate to varsity D-line. So they're trying to find some guys to play, just trying to see who can play D-line for them. So it's a really important game here today for the JV coaches to see that. Still waiting on the varsity action to get back underway. All right, in varsity action, it is Kuhneman in at quarterback now. Buckles left, Erie right. Kuhneman in shotgun, bobbles the snap, throwing downfield. He finds Cava. Cava still on his feet. Jake Cava powering forward all the way to the 7-yard line. Jake Cava just refusing to go down. And at the tight end position, he is not the fastest guy you'll see out there, but his combination of strength and great hands just makes him so good at that tight end spot. Also his height coming in at around 6'2", great target for the Deacons.
Absolutely on that one. And even though that snap was a little bobbled and able to get that pass off, it was a very well-placed pass right on the numbers.
Caden Kuhneman showing really good poise there. Just only a sophomore, probably going to see some time at quarterback this year. That's a really good sign for him. Full house formation for the Deeks. Handoff goes Colby Johnson, who walks into the end zone unscathed.
I would imagine we're going to see more of that this year, too, from Colby Johnson, just being able to take advantage of the space.
Meanwhile, Wasik able to buy time, and he lobs one out to Peterson in the end zone, but it is just placed a little too far in front of Sean Peterson. Wasik is having a great day at quarterback himself, really giving the Deacon coaches something to think about. That's what's great about this scrimmage and this simultaneous JV varsity style. It's just such a fun way to see these guys who you haven't seen play any varsity time. It's really good for the coaches, and it's just a lot of fun to see these guys.
Absolutely. It gives these coaches a chance to feel out maybe who can handle some of this varsity pressure and who can handle or who can't handle it.
Yeah.
Really good for the kids, too.
Kuhneman takes the snap. It's low, but he's able to get it off to Buckles. Buckles, nice little gain of about 4 or 5 yards there. There is some trouble here. You'll notice a lot of these snaps are coming to Kuhneman low. He's doing a good job with them. Meanwhile, Wasik, under pressure, running with it. Up the left side, makes one man miss and is then brought down. Miles Wasik displaying his mobility, one of his greatest assets at the QB position.
I really think the Deacons are pretty deep at this quarterback spot. I wouldn't be surprised if we see, later in the season, if we got some good games going on, I wouldn't be surprised if you throw either of these guys in.
For sure. I formation for the Deeks. Kuhneman under center. Erie split out right. Kuhneman hands the ball off to Buckles. Buckles running forward, stays on his feet, and gets out to about the 20-yard line. Buckles, a great weapon for the Deacons, a good combination of size, strength, and speed. He held the 40-yard dash record at Shanley, broke it last year as a freshman, but it has since been broken by Josh Johnson, Jr., the running back we've talked a lot about.
It was a great display of his speed there. You know, as soon as he got that ball, he hit that hole hard. Really going at it with everything he's got.
Buckles has really good acceleration. You'll see that first step with the ball in his hands is just so fast, and it's so unexpected because not a lot of ball carriers have that kind of speed that he does.
Absolutely. It's a very, very good thing to have as a running back.
Just that acceleration, very deadly. Kuhneman throwing to the open man. He takes a hit as he does it. Kelsch, though, able to get space and power forward to the 6-yard line. Kuhneman, a great job there staring down the defender and taking the hit while still completing the pass.
It was a very good pass with defenders right in his face. Very impressed with the poise he showed staying in the pocket and still being able to throw a good ball.
Very impressive. Full house for the Deacons on the JV side of things. It's a handoff up the middle to Fredericks. Fredericks, not a very big guy, but a very fast guy. Right there, though, showing some strength as he moves through defenders. I formation for the Deeks. Erie split out left. Kuhneman taking the snap. Fakes the handoff. Play action pass. He finds Cava for the touchdown. Caden Kuhneman, great throw there.
You know, Jed, I'm really impressed with Caden Kuhneman. I wasn't sure what to expect coming into this, but, I mean, he's completed some really nice passes. Still being able to stay in that pocket, really impressive.
Yeah, it really has been. I think the most impressive part of his game has been his ability to sit back and stare those defenders right in the face and still make the throw. I spoke to him in pregame warm-ups, and he said one of the biggest things he's improved upon this year is his strength. He feels a lot more confident in his ability to take hits and his just overall durability, thanks to the time that's been put in the weight room. Deacons already with 2 scores on this possession. Full house formation. Play underway, faking the handoff, play action pass, Kuhneman downfield, he's got his man. Kelsch up the far right side, make that 3 touchdowns on this possession.
Just another great throw from Caden Kuhneman.
It has really been eye-opening, and it gives these coaches a lot to think about. And it's got to make them feel really comfortable knowing that they can play Matt Bird at quarterback or running back. And, you know, they got to feel good knowing when they take him out, they have a capable guy there who can just step right in.
Absolutely. No fear of having maybe an injury or anything like that because they're so deep. You know, that's what really makes these teams good.
With a little break in action, we'd like to take some time here to thank the Shanley Athletic Club. Of course, they are the people who keep this thing in business with some generous donations. Just a huge shout out to them for making this possible. So thank you to the Shanley Athletic Club. I formation for the Deeks. Erie split out left. Kuhneman fakes the handoff, pitches it out to Buckles. Buckles trying to weave through defenders. And I don't know if that was a broken play or what happened. It looked like Kuhneman faked the handoff to the fullback, but then with pressure right in his face, he kind of had to do a little flip of the ball.
You know, Jed, I think that's a good play there. I think that's going to be a pitch option is what they're looking for. Just kind of a read almost where if the quarterback's not facing any pressure and they're giving it all to his back, he can take that ball and run it up the field. Whereas we just saw if he's taking pressure, go ahead and pitch it to a running back. And with a back like Haley Buckles, I mean, that's a good play.
It did. It really was. It ended up working well for him, too, with a nice little gain. In the JV side of things, the Shanley offense has looked very strong here. It's full house formation. Faking the handoff, play action pass, downfield. Wasik has his man. It's Grothman into the end zone. Touchdown, Deacons. Meanwhile, in varsity action, that ball goes over the head of Buckles. And it looks like they're going to change it up. That's 10 plays. And the Eagles offense is going to come out and try again.
You know, I'm sure Rod Oxendall's got to be happy with that possession there. That was very impressive from Caden Kudeman and the offense in general. Even that line there, really not allowing too much pressure, but still being able to hold their own.
It's been a good day overall for Shanley. I think if things continue like this, they're going to be very happy with how it went. Full house formation for the Eagles. A little bit of a different showing here. Handoff goes Birch. Birch bringing it up the right side. Birch brought down right around the first down marker. That's a good play for the Eagles. Good to come out of the gate like that. In JV action, Manuel, great job tiptoeing along the sideline and getting a nice chunk of yards there. Matheson remains at quarterback for the Eagles. It's full house formation again. It's Birch, Ross, and Bear. Faking the handoff to Ross. It goes to Bear instead, and he stays on his feet, pushing all the way to the first down marker. On that Deacon defensive line and offensive line, you'll see one face, Joe Cava, the freshman, is really getting a lot of playing time on varsity. He has been very good for the Deacons, even being able to play in some JV games last year as an 8th grader. Would not be surprised at all if he came out starting on the line day one.
I would agree with that. You know, I believe he's put in some great work in the offseason, and he's not a small guy either. He's out there. He's a big guy. He fits right in. I'm very impressed with that, and if he's able to step up this season, that's huge for the Deacon defense.
Joe Cava, of course, the younger brother of Jake Cava, the linebacker and tight end. Confusion here for the Varsity Eagles. Sorting things out. Looks like they are ready. Coach Thiegels had to get in and make an adjustment. Now the handoff goes Birch, who brings it up the right side and is brought down. One thing about this scrimmage is because you have 2 games going on, you've got whistles being blown on both sides of the field, so that can be pretty confusing as a player, so that might be why you see a little bit of confusion here on some plays. Full house again for the Eagles, although on JV that we're looking at, it is the wing back. Dropping back to pass. Downfield, reaching out. No good, just over. It's Chandler Rudolph. Put a little too much on that one for Wee. Meanwhile, it looks like the Varsity Eagles were able to score against Shanley. Am I correct there, Lucas?
You know, watching it, it was a really good throw. He brought it down, but it looks like Tom Erie got a hand in there and ripped it out before he fell. So I'm not sure if they counted that or if they're just resetting here.
Well, that's a nice thing. This is a scrimmage, so even we get some time to screw up. Thankfully, the score doesn't really matter. What matters, though, is the Eagles are finally getting some offense going on varsity. We're still on JV, though, so taking a look at that. It's the wingback formation again. Rudolph rolling out to his right, throws to the open receiver, just checks down to his man, and still making men miss. My goodness. What moves from Sylvester, Briar Sylvester. Hello.
You know, for this varsity squad for the Eagles, it really looked like the full house was working for him on the run game. Looks here, maybe try some pass. It's
a screen, and the receiver is going to make his way out to about the first down marker. It's Chashik. He seems to be the go-to for both Eagles quarterbacks. Tall guy at 6', 175, makes for a good target.
Just a simple screenplay there, but, you know, simple plays. I mean, that's a 7-yard gain. They don't all have to be big gains.
And that's what this Eagles offense has needed more of. It's just some good, strong, small plays, and they've gotten them. Meanwhile, the JV offense not able to connect on that opportunity. Chandler Rudolph put too much on that one. Handoff fake. Looking downfield, batted at the line. Wow, Austin Yagi gets right in the face of Ethan Matheson and says no way as he bats that one back.
Austin Yagi with a great jump off the line there to get in his face. I mean, I'd look to see a lot more of that this season. He's a really good athletic player, able to get off that ball really quick.
Austin Yagi, another guy who's put in a lot of work in the offseason. He looks really good, just gotten so much stronger and even faster. I think the Deacons are excited with what he's done. Touchdown there for the Eagles on JV, just continuing a very strong showing against this Deacon JV defense. That's Terrell Wee who makes the grab. Taking the snap and looking downfield. Ball caught by Bear. I believe he got a foot down. Yes, he did. That's Ethan Matheson, who has looked really strong in his time for the Eagles.
Yeah, I mean, the throws have been solid. Not all of them completed, but still with a chance to be completed. And that one there, very well placed, just over the shoulder, able to drag it down.
Joe Cava checking in for MJ Lapine now. And they are headed back.
You know, I wonder if they have the option to kind of reset and work on some longer plays instead of not just some, inside 10-yard plays.
It would explain a lot, Lucas. Again, folks, we apologize. This is very new format for us. Again, though, we're having fun with it. It's been very fun to watch all this happen. JV Eagles going back to work. That handoff, though, not going too far. Faking the handoff and looking downfield. Matheson gets it to his man. That is Jaden Clabo. And for those of you who watched some high school basketball last year, that name might sound familiar. This kid is 6'4", 193, and he is a 10th grader this year. Clabo had a huge role on the basketball team as a freshman, and I really think he could have a great year for Davies. Just such a big, strong kid. He could really be a great go-to red zone threat for Ethan Matheson to hook up with, don't you think, Lucas?
Absolutely, and that throw there, he got hit pretty hard, able to hang on to that ball. So I'd imagine a lot more targets to him there.
Clabo, just a natural athlete with a great build. Man in motion. Back to pass. Looking. End zone. Picked off. Interception. A great defensive play made there. Let's see if I can get that number. That's Andy Clark. Couldn't see the number. He was getting mobbed by his teammates. Got to be happy about that. Getting some varsity time at corner.
The work these cornerbacks put in, I mean, we saw a lot of it last year, too. A lot of interceptions. I'd expect to see a lot more of those this season.
Definitely. Take a look on that replay. Andy Clark just very opportunistic. Stays with his man. Sees the short ball. Makes a grab. Clark, guy, not very big, only coming in at around 5'7" or 5'8", but his footwork and agility, it really just forces the coaches to move him up and see what he can do, because just so fast and good. He does exactly what you need a corner to do, just able to keep up with receivers.
Really reminds me of graduated senior Devin Kleinman.
Yeah, that's a really good analogy. Not the biggest guy, but someone who's just so good with the footwork and all the fundamentals of the game. It's a good way to put it. In JV action, handoff up the middle, not going too far. Deacon defense starting to stiffen up a little bit. They still have some work to do, though.
And I think that'll come with experience, too, Jed. These guys are young. They might have a little first game jitters, but I see a lot of potential for growth in this JV defense.
Deacon, varsity offense is out there now. It's Cade Busick checking in at quarterback. It's Josh Johnson out to his left. Buckles and Erie, the receivers, out to the right. Man in motion, Erie. Snap is high. Busick grabs it. Flag on the play. Option to Busick. He's doing some great things with that ball. Weaving through and then brought down. See what the flag is, though.
My guess would be the receiver didn't line up correctly on that one because there was no immediate whistle.
That's what I would guess, yeah. Some kind of issue there.
If there's any problem with this or any threat to this offense here, it would be penalties and just discipline in general. I know they've struggled a little bit early on in the past years, so I'd look for that to really tighten up and be able to keep them moving.
Penalty troubles, definitely something you want to get sorted out. Again, a benefit of this scrimmage is you get to work out those kinks. Also able to see what plays work and don't work, and right there, maybe you see that's a play that your team just isn't quite ready to execute. Under center, Busick in the eye. It's a play-action pass. Checks it down to Kelsch. He can't make the grab. Ball from Busick a little low there.
Might have been feeling that pressure there. I don't know, in a real game he
Definitely,
might have
yeah.
got smoked there, but a good attempt at staying in that pressure and trying to get that throw off.
Over to JV. Kuhneman looking to throw that one just a little too low. Caden Kuhneman now over on the JV side of things. We saw him on Varsity in the last series.
I think it's important for him there, too, to just get a lot of reps, just get in plays.
Get some experience, definitely,
Absolutely.
yeah. Repetition. That's how you get guys trained and ready to move up.
Absolutely.
Full house formation for the Deeks. Busick gonna carry it again. Busick weaving through traffic, jumps over a man, and then finally brought down right at the first down marker. And boy, they have been using Busick as a runner a lot early on.
A couple of very nice runs right there. Impressive, right? Really. I mean, I think that's going to be a strong suit, too. Like we were saying, they're just so deep in this quarterback spot.
Well, Busick is very strong and very fast, especially for a quarterback. He might not be as pure of a passer as a guy like Kuhneman, but he really makes up for that with his mobility and overall athleticism.
Absolutely, and in high school football, Jed, you don't have to be the best passer, as long as you're able to make some plays when it counts.
But one kid who is a pretty good passer, Kuhneman, threaded the needle there. Unfortunately, it was great coverage by the Eagles. Really impressive.
It looked like a very well-placed pass, maybe just a hair in front, but with that kind of pressure on there, I think that was really nice.
Bars just couldn't make the grab, and the man in there defending that one was Sylvester. Briar Sylvester, really quite the speedster. He's been impressive. Doubles formation for the Deeks. Busick with Johnson in the backfield. Throws it out to Buckles. Buckles bringing it up the right side and slips and falls. He was trying to make a man miss, but just lost his footing there.
That's a nice quick play there for the Deacons, just being able to get Buckles out wide with some space. Do that quick enough, maybe get him to bite on that fake early. There's plenty of room out there for Buckles, who we know is a speedster, to run and gain some serious yards.
Definitely. Over on JV, full house formation, Kuhneman under center. Handoff. Up the left side, that's Kevin Gladich. He goes down after a gain of about 2 or 3 yards. Gladich started the year off at quarterback, but has since been moved back into running back. He's a good athlete, though, and so it's not surprising to see him trying a couple different roles out. Trips left flank or right for the Varsity Deeks. Busick gonna run with it right up the gut. Busick making his way through. Touchdown, Deacons.
Another nice run there by Busick. It's good. With that setup there with trips and that flanker, it really spreads out the field. With Busick maybe not being as great of a thrower, I'd look to see maybe a lot more of those run plays with how open that middle of the field is going to be.
Cade Busick looking a lot faster than he did last year. And, he's always been a pretty fast kid, but he really looks like he's put in a lot of work in that department in the offseason, and right now it appears to be paying off. Deacons reset now. Doubles formation. It's Busick in at quarterback once again. In shotgun. He's going to run with it. It's an option out to Johnson. Josh Johnson up the left side. Powering forward. Josh Johnson brought down at about the 27-yard line.
Just another good play there with that option, and with how fast Busick is, that's a good utility to have.
Meanwhile, in the JV game, a great completion there. Deacon offense really rolling over there. And, Coach Oxendall's just got to be thrilled with the depth he's seen so far, both at quarterback and running back. He has just got his hands full of offensive weapons. Got to be optimistic about the season right now with that depth they've got.
Absolutely. I'm looking for another good season out of this squad. I think if that O-line tightens up a little bit, I don't think we're going to skip a beat.
Definitely. They have just got, again, that O-line does have some things to work on. We've seen pressure coming. And, of course, you got to have your guys in the trenches winning battles if you want to win games. But like you said, Lucas, I think given a little more time, given some experience in this scrimmage, I think the Deacons are going to be another force to be reckoned with yet again.
And we know those practices that Rod Oxendall runs, they're no cakewalk either. So
That's for sure.
They're definitely going to be putting in the work.
Well, the Deacon JV offense has been looking great. Caden Kuhneman out there just slinging passes. Over on the varsity side of things, in the I formation, Buckles outright. A little bit of a bobbled snap there, and it's a direct handoff. Johnson, gain of about 4.
I'd like to see them kind of tighten up some of these snaps. We've seen in shotgun formation and have them be a little high, a little low, and even some of these handoffs and snaps under center be bobbled. I'm sure that's one thing they'll work on because, if those fail, the whole play falls apart. So I think if they tighten those up, you'll get those plays executed a lot better.
And, snaps are one of those things that just vary so much from QB to QB, your relationship with the center, just kind of knowing each other's tendencies. And that's something that I think will come with time and once they settle into a solid starter.
Yes.
Meanwhile, Kevin Gladich, a guy we were just talking about, really showing off speed there. Great run on the far left side in that JV game.
Looks like some false start, on the varsity side.
Fargo Davies Eagles will be at home playing the Bismarck High. At 7 o'clock. Thanks.
Looking at the varsity side of things, it is I formation for the Deeks. Buckles split out right again. Busick faking the handoff, running with it himself. This time the Eagles are not fooled. And, the Eagles have done a good job of catching on to different plays here that Shanley starts to run very often. Motion on the JV side of things. Looks like encroachment there on the Eagles. Kuhneman under center, I formation. Fakes the handoff, looking, pressure coming, and he is taken down. Interesting tackle there. Obviously, with some of the contact rules with the QBs, I think both sides get a little unsure as to whether they need to tackle or need to touch. Just kind of a funny play there, but good penetration by the Eagles. Johnson moves out to the right side, dropping back to passes. Busick, he is brought down, though. No time to throw there. Great penetration by the Eagles. JV did a good job there, and so did Varsity. And the Eagles' line is looking pretty strong so far today. Both offensive and defensive. I formation again for Shanley. Pitch out to Gladich. Weaving through. He's tied up, and he can't stay on his feet.
Looks like that Davies JV line, D-line, is really getting in some pressure here on the last couple plays. I'd like to see that JV line kind of tighten up and not allow so much pressure.
Definitely. The Eagles have been very impressive in the trenches, JV, varsity offense, defense, and I think that'll serve them well this year in regular season play.
Both teams with a lot of room to grow for regular season. It'll be interesting to see these seasons come up and how they turn out.
I think it should be a fun year for both these teams. I think they've just got the pieces in place to maybe put together a really good run.
Absolutely.
I formation for Shanley once again. Play action, looking downfield, got a man, almost picked off. Kuhneman put that one a little too far in front, and his receiver just couldn't get there in time. Over in the varsity side of things, the ball carrier for the Eagles powering forward. Let's see if we can get that number there, 23. That is Isaac Fanai. He's another one of those Eagles running backs who could see some time. Just a huge rotation of guys they could use this year.
Very deep, and even, looking at these run plays, they really haven't had someone who's weak in that spot. They've all been pretty strong.
And, we've really noticed the Eagles' runs seem to be improving with each and every possession. And that's something that really goes to show you the strength they have on the line, and with their ball carriers, they're a team that can really start to wear you down. And I think we're seeing some of that right now. Man in motion. Handoff from Forknell. It's a trick play. The pitch to the man. Running. It makes a man miss. Flag.
There was a big block there. I don't know if they're going to try and call something on that. It just looked like a big hit. Maybe a block in the back.
That's kind of what I'm thinking there. McMonagle looked like he made the man miss, but yeah, it looked like there could have been.
I don't know if we check.
Yeah, let's see this replay.
51. Yeah.
Oh,
just
wow.
Smothered.
I don't know. That's tough to say. I'm not sure if that was clean or not. It was a big hit.
Yeah,
It was Forknell, the quarterback. Yeah. I mean, that's not shocking. That kid's 6'3", 170, so QB can hit. Over to JV action. It's a solid gain for the Eagles, who should be really happy with the way their JV has played today. Just a really good sign for them for the upcoming years.
I think both sides, offensive-wise, have got a lot to look forward to. I know the Deacons for sure got a little bit to tidy up on defense, but they're young. They've got a lot of room to grow. I'd look for that to be a good stepstone into the regular season.
And, they've also got a lot of time, really, because they've got some young guys up on varsity who, in the meantime can do a great job starting. And I think eventually once these guys can grow up a little, add some strength, Deacons should be strong for years to come. Meanwhile, JV, good Lord, Chandler Rudolph is just dominating with his feet. Eagles again threatening. There is 8 minutes left on the clock, and folks, I really could not tell you if the clock means anything. Game might end at that point, or it might be based on number of plays run, but we'll just stay with you until it's over. We're having fun here. Forknell hits his man. Good gain for the Eagles. They're really seeming to find a rhythm here. Over to JV, it's a handoff up the middle. This time that Shanley defense is able to make the stop. Couple guys in on that tackle. Grothman and Peterson. Coming to the line. It's that wingback formation. Now a man in motion. Snap too high. Rudolph able to grab it, though. Rudolph going to use his feet. Rudolph trying to get the edge. And it's a touchdown for the Eagles. Really, Chandler Rudolph.
Really good use of a broken play there. Making the most, using his feet, get into that edge. I don't think anyone saw that one coming.
Snap goes over his head, able to tip it and then make the grab, and then able to outrun everybody and get into the end zone. All right, now Varsity Eagles coming out here on second down. Forknell under center. Man in motion is Fayen. Handoff, though, goes inside. Trying to get through traffic. Big hit, though. We'll see where that ball gets marked.
Just inside the 5 is what it looks like. Maybe at the 4.
On the carry, Cody Youngren. Another one of those Eagle ball carriers who's looked solid. And again, Davies just doing a great job wearing the Deacons down, really fighting a war of attrition here.
You know, I think that's going to be key for Davies throughout the season with how deep these running backs are. You know, they can throw 2 or 3 different guys in there every quarter, really. I mean, and keep them fresh.
The ability, it's a good way to put it, Lucas. The ability to keep fresh running backs in there, if your guys aren't getting tired, that's just going to make the other team even more tired.
Absolutely.
And look at that, touchdown Eagles. That was just some good smash mouth football there. Cameron Reelt just walks right in.
Looked like the defensive line there is getting pretty lax. I didn't see much hustle out of that, but
A little gassed.
It's a long day. You're playing a lot of football. It's understandable.
Not a lot of downtime, and meanwhile the JV Eagles score another touchdown on offense. They've been fantastic. Varsity Eagles with a lot of confidence, you'd have to think now, after a very successful drive. We'll see what they show here. Fortnell under center. Man in motion, Youngren. Faking the handoff. Back to pass, Fortnell looking downfield. Not enough on it, and just a little too far to the right. In JV action, a little bit of a botch play there for the Eagles. It was blown up quick. Getting set now. Handoff up the middle, met immediately at the line, getting space though. Look at this run, refusing to go down. What an impressive carry by a guy who is not on my roster. Unnamed man, you are looking quite impressive, number 34. That play bottled up on Varsity by the Deacons. Coming out now. 2 men out to the left, 1 out to the right. In shotgun, Fortnell. Fortnell dropping back to pass. Time, looks downfield. Great ball caught by the man at the 5. Real successful play there for the Eagles. It's Isaac Fanai who was wide open. Fortnell just could not get enough on that one, underthrew a little. Might have been surprised at how open his receiver was, though.
I mean, he was wide open. I don't know.
Let's see where the coverage breaks down here if we can. Just looks like a miscommunication as to who's got who. You'll see the linebacker lets him slip by, and Fanai just runs uncovered. Looks like there wasn't enough help over the top from the safety.
Looks like they're trying to run a zone coverage there. A little, like you said, a little miscommunication between the backs. It happens now and again, but that's another thing with the beauty of these scrimmage. They can go back, look at some film, and understand, like, hey, we got to fix this right here.
Well put. Over on the JV side. Eagles still on offense, having great success on this series. Back to pass, looking downfield, wide open man, and he is going to walk into the end zone on that grab. Gage Graber.
He had all the time in the world.
He
there,
really
you know,
did.
Great pressure.
And it looks like Varsity has wrapped up here as they are all congregating at the 50, and will that do it? Yes, it will. That is it for today's scrimmage, but before we let you go, we have a couple things to talk about. Coming up next week, we have a couple broadcasts. Boys varsity soccer, Shanley versus Grand Forks Central. That's Tuesday, August 23rd at 7 p.m. Shanley, another second-place finish at state, looking finally to capture a title this year. And then boys varsity football, Shanley versus St. Mary's, Friday, August 26th at 7 p.m. Folks, pull up your chairs, get your popcorn, and tune in, because this has got to be one of the best rivalries in high school football, folks. I talked to a lot of guys today, and they all agree that is one of the most exciting games of the year. So tune in, folks, next week, Friday at 7. Meanwhile, a botched snap almost turned into positive yards there. Looks like JV is not finished. Again, learning curve for us all.
They still got 7 seconds on the clock. If it means anything.
We do not know. They're going to set the ball down. The clock has expired, and it looks like they're still going to run some plays. Eagles taking a long time in the huddle. They are savoring these last moments, trying to get in some plays that maybe some trick plays perhaps that they want to test on a live action opponent.
Well, it'd be a great time to, just a nice little scrimmage. We got all the eyes on them, that's for sure.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what they cooked up. Using that split back formation that they do. Handoff, and it's a trick play here, getting around the corner. Oh boy, look at those moves, but then met immediately by some aggressive Deacon tacklers. They swarmed right in there.
That play had worked in previous times, but that time they did a good job in containment, and getting that initial hit on the outside really slowed them down.
And the thing about this single wing formation is the ability to run those trick plays, because it's a really odd look when you're the defense to see it just the way they're arranged. You have a hard time gauging what they're going to do, and it looks like that play was the last one of today's scrimmage. That will do it. So, I'd say today was a great success, for both these teams in just gauging what they've got to do for the regular season. Just really a good way to see, what they need to improve upon and help work on team chemistry, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely, and looking at both teams respectively, I think they've got a lot of good things to go off of and a lot of good things to build on going into this regular season. For the Deacons, I think just tightening up that O-line, keeping the pressure off their quarterbacks, and even their quarterbacks have really impressed me today. I wouldn't be surprised if you see just kind of a regular rotation in between those three. Davies just being able to, like we were talking about, really wear them out and really being able to use their mass running backs to their advantage.
Well, a good day for both teams, productive, fun to watch, but next week, Friday, August 26th at 7 p.m., folks, tune in because it is the Catholic Clash, St. Mary's versus Shanley, the big game going down live on Shanley TV, folks. Do not miss it. We'd like to thank you for tuning in today. To watch the archived version of this broadcast and all our other games, go to shanleytv.com. And from Lucas Johnson, our whole crew, and myself, thank you, and good night.